general methods for the structure elucidation of terpenoids. Okay, so as we all know that after the isolation and extraction of the terpenoid from the essential oils, the next step is to determine the structure of that terpenoid. Now to determine the structure of that terpenoid, we have some methods that we usually apply for the structure elucidation of each and every terpenoid. So these include, the first one is analytical methods, second are synthetic methods, and the third are modern methods. Okay, so now we will take them in detail one by one. So firstly, let us discuss what are the analytical methods. In analytical method, first one is the molecular weight determination. Or we can say that molecular formula. In the first step, we will determine that what is the molecular formula of our extracted terpenoid. Now to determine that molecular formula, what we have to do is we just have to we ascertain this molecular formula by the elemental analysis. Elemental analysis or molecular weight determination. Okay, or we can say by mass spectroscopy. So by elemental analysis, molecular weight determination, and by the mass spectroscopy, we can determine the molecular formula of our terpenoid. In this, we basically get that how much carbon, how much hydrogens, and how much oxygens are present in our terpenoid. So basically get the formula like this. So here X, Y, Z can be anything. Okay. So next step is, suppose if in the molecular formula determination we will get the oxygen. Oxygen may be there may be one oxygen, there may be two oxygen, but we have to find out that what is the nature of the oxygen in our compound. Means oxygen can be present as a carbonyl compound, oxygen may be present as a hydroxyl group, oxygen may be present as a carboxylic group if in case we have the two oxygens. So second step is to determine the nature of the oxygen atom present in our terpenoid. So for this, firstly what we will do, we will test for the presence of hydroxyl group. To test the presence of hydroxyl group, we will treat a terpenoid. Treat our terpenoid with acetic anhydride or acetyl chloride or benzoyl chloride. As we know that when we treat a terpenoid having hydroxyl group with the acetic anhydride and acetyl chloride, then the formation of what will take place? Then the formation of acetate will take place. And when we treat our terpenoid with the benzoyl chloride, then the formation of benzoate will take place. Now the formation of these products will confirm that in our terpenoid the hydroxyl group is present. If the formation of acetate or benzoate does not take place, it means that in our terpenoid the hydroxyl group is absent. So basically, suppose if in our terpenoid hydroxyl group is present, then when we treat a terpenoid having the hydroxyl group with the acetic anhydride, then the formation of acetate will take place plus acetic acid. Here your acetic anhydride is CH3 C double bond O O O CH3. Similarly, if we treat a terpenoid having the hydroxyl group with the acetyl chloride, where acetate group is CH3 C double bond O O C L, then what will happen? Here the removal of HCl will take place and the formation of acetate plus HCl. Similarly, if we treat a terpenoid containing the hydroxyl group with the benzoyl chloride, then what will happen? Then there is the formation of benzoate takes place. Here the removal of HCl will take place. Now we can do any of the three reactions. If there is a formation of acetate or benzoate is taking place, then we can say that the terpenoid contains the hydroxyl group. So suppose if we have done this test and this test comes out to be negative, that is no formation of acetate or benzoate take place, it means that the oxygen that is present in the terpenoid may be in other form. So secondly, we will test for presence of ketonic or aldehydic group, because we know that oxygen can also be present as a ketone or aldehyde. Now how do we get to know that in our terpenoid the oxygen that is present is as a ketonic group or aldehydic group? Now what we will do is, this can be ascertained by the formation of, this can be ascertained by the presence of hydroxyl amine as the carbonyl group will give oxime on reaction with the hydroxyl amine. That means suppose ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ terpenoid ਹੈ, in that terpenoid the oxygen is present as a carbonyl group. Now if we treat that terpenoid containing the carbonyl group with the hydroxylamine, that is NH2OH, this one is hydroxyl then there is a removal of water and the formation of oxime. So if this oxime is formed in the product, then we can confirm that the oxygen is present as the carbonyl group. Similarly, we can do the test of oxime formation and we can also do it as a hydrazone formation. For that, similarly we can treat our terpenoid with the phenyl hydrazine, or you can simply treat it with the hydrazine. If there is the formation of hydrazone taking place as a product, then we can say that oxygen is present as a carbonyl group. Then oxygen is present as a carbonyl group. So suppose a terpenoid containing carbonyl group is treated with hydrazine. Now what will happen? Removal of water take place and formation of your hydrazone will take place. Now this formation of hydrazone is actually the confirmation that in our terpenoid, if the carbonyl group is present, that is confirmed by the formation of this hydrazone. Similarly, we can treat our terpenoid containing the carbonyl group with phenyl hydrazone also. In that also removal of water take place and there is a formation of phenyl hydrazone. Okay, so basically we can say that by the formation of oxime, by the formation of hydrazone, by the formation of phenyl hydrazone, if these three take place by our terpenoid, if we treat them with the respective reagents like hydrazine or with the hydroxylamine, the formation of this will confirm that in our terpenoid the oxygen is present as a carbonyl group. Now the next point is, suppose the carbonyl group is present. Now we wanted to know that suppose if our terpenoid give the positive test for the carbonyl group. So our next step is to know whether the carbonyl is present as a aldehyde group or as a ketonic group. So what we do? Now what we will do to distinguish, next step is to distinguish between the aldehydic or ketonic carbonyl group. Okay. Now what can we do to distinguish them? So for this we can simply oxidize our terpenoid. Suppose if in terpenoid the carbonyl group is present as a aldehyde, then in that case there is a formation of monocarboxylic acid with the same number of carbon atom that will take place. And if the terpenoid contain the carbonyl group in the form of ketone, then in that case on oxidation there will be the formation of mixture of carboxylic acid with lesser number of carbons. That is, suppose if carbonyl in terpenoid is present as the aldehydic group, then on oxidation it will form monocarboxylic acid with same number of carbon atoms. That is, terpenoid containing the aldehydic group when oxidized, it will get oxidized into monocarboxylic group with the same number of carbon atoms. This one is monocarboxylic group. And second is, if the carbonyl group is present as ketone, then what will happen? Then there is a formation of mixture of carboxylic acids with lesser number of carbon atoms. That is, suppose in a terpenoid we contain a ketonic group like this. So on oxidation of this ketonic group, what will happen? The oxidation over here take place and there will be the formation of two carboxylic acids that is, the mixture of carboxylic acid is formed with the lesser number of carbon atoms as compared to the parent one. So this formation of the mixture of carboxylic acid denote that the carbonyl group present in the your terpenoid is as a ketonic group. So if the formation of monocarboxylic acid with the same number of carbon atom is taking place, then your carbonyl group is present as the aldehydic group. Okay. So next one is, so when we get to know that, suppose we get to know that in our terpenoid the aldehyde group is present. So then our work is over. Suppose that if we get to know that the ketonic group is present in the terpenoid, so we get so our next step is to know that whether the carbonyl group that is present in it means the ketone that is present is the terminal one or the non-terminal one. That is, our next step is to determine the presence of terminal C double bond O CH3 group, because we know that the ketonic group may have maybe the terminal one or the non-terminal one. I can give you an example of the terminal and non-terminal. Suppose if we have this ketone, this is the non-terminal one. Sorry, this is the non-terminal. And if we have this type of ketone, this is the terminal one. So basically the ketone having CH3 C double bond O group is the terminal one, because in this the carbonyl group is present at one terminal. So we wanted to know whether this terminal carbonyl group is present in a terpenoid or not. Then we have to do the haloform reaction. So to detect the presence of terminal carbonyl group, what we will do? We will do a haloform reaction. In haloform reaction, the terpenoid containing the carbonyl group, or we can say the ketonic group, is treated with base, that is NaOH, in the presence of any halogen gas. Then there is a formation of carboxylic acid plus the haloform. This haloform may be chloroform, iodoform, depending upon the gas that we are taking here. So if X is Cl here, then it will be chloroform. If it is iodine, then it will be iodoform. So this haloform will only be formed, this haloform is only formed if in the terpenoid we have the terminal carbonyl group. If terminal carbonyl group is not present, then the formation of haloform will not take place. So basically the presence of haloform in the product will represent that in the parent terpenoid we have the terminal carbonyl group. Okay, so this is for the carbonyl. So next step is, suppose that the carbonyl group is also absent in the terpenoid and the hydroxyl group is also absent in the terpenoid, but in the molecular formula we have the oxygen in the molecular formula of the terpenoid. So it means that the oxygen that is present in the terpenoid may be in the form of carboxylic group. So next we will detect whether the oxygen present in the terpenoid is due to the presence of carboxylic group. So as we all have already read about many reactions of the carboxylic group, we know that if in a compound the carboxylic group is present and if we heat that compound, then what will happen? The effervescence will take place. So if we add a pinch of sodium bicarbonate into the terpenoid and then we'll just heat that terpenoid, then we will see the effervescence is taking place. So basically effervescence with sodium bicarbonate will confirm the presence of carboxylic group. So this is basically the confirmation test for the presence of carboxylic group. If a terpenoid with sodium bicarbonate will give the effervescence, then it is confirmed that the oxygen is present as the carboxylic group. So in case we have the terpenoid whose molecular formula contains only one oxygen, in that case this will be omitted because carboxylic group has two oxygens. Okay, so our next step is to determine whether the terpenoid have the unsaturation present in it or not. Means the terpenoid that we are having, whose structure we are determining, is having the unsaturation in it, that is it is having a double bond in it or not. For the unsaturation or we can say presence of double bond. Okay, for this we will do, for determining the presence of double bond, we will simply treat a terpenoid with any addition compound